Hi there, it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a whole Tom Ford private blend fragrance comparison. I have 7 original Tom Ford fragrances and I'm comparing them to their dupes from Perfume Parlour, and I have one from Alexandria Fragrances. I did this video without the originals to compare to. I did just the dupes, but now I'm going to do the video I've always wanted to do and have the real thing side by side with the dupe. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're into Tom Ford, I think you'll find this video interesting, enjoyable. If you want to get into Tom Ford but can't afford to, like me, you might find the dupes and the comparisons of the dupes helpful. So we're going to get into it. If you want to know what I'm going to be covering, I have the Noir de Noir, Plum Japonais, Lost Cherry, Oud Wood, Mandarino di Amalfi, Oud Minerale, and Fucking Fabulous. I have 3 new samples from Tom Ford, but I don't have a dupe for them. So I'm also going to tell you, just let you know what I think of Rose Prick, Tuberose Nue, which is the new one this year in 2021, and Bitter Peach. So at the end, I'll be going over those. So if you want to check out the video of just really the dupes, I think I had the Oud Wood sample to compare to, but that was it. But if you want to just get a fresh take on what I think of the dupe scents on their own without comparing them, you can check out that video for probably a more realistic sense of what the dupes smell like. Because I'm not going to go into super detail because we have so many fragrances to cover. You might find that video helpful, so check it out. I'll link it below. Also, before we get started, something I want to say. I didn't do this the first video because I didn't realize that people sold samples and decants of real perfumes. I didn't know that. I didn't know people did that. So once I discovered that, I was like, oh, I can finally do this video and compare things without buying the full bottle. Like, I knew samples existed, but I thought you had to purchase or somehow get them, and I didn't want to go on eBay, but there's actually like fragrance retailers that sell full-size bottles plus samples, and they just put them in different size containers, and it's priced based on the size that you buy, which I think is amazing. And I have bought so many because I want to try so many perfumes and really get into perfumes. So I'm a newbie, if you can't tell, because I didn't know that. So I feel a little bit dumb, but yeah, I'm excited that now I can just buy samples and figure out what kind of fragrances I like. Also, a thing about dupes and similar fragrances, a lot of companies do this, and not the ones I'm going to talk about, not just the ones I'm going to talk about. And it's really just up to you to figure out which companies you like, which ship fast to you. Perfume Parlour is based in the UK, which is not super accessible to me. I had to pay, shipping, like $20 shipping, but I ordered a whole lot to make it worth it. But Alexandria Fragrances is in the US, so it's a lot easier to get dupes from them. Plus, they offer travel sizes, and so does Perfume Parlour. So if you're going to go with like a duplicate company, just realize, even though, oh, it's supposed to smell like your favorite perfume, well, buy a small size, see if you like it, and then go with the big one if you really love it. So hopefully you can find a duplicate brand that offers small sizes and you don't have to buy a huge bottle. Also, my mistake with Perfume Parlour is I bought these huge bottles because, I was like, might as well, but some of them I really don't like, so I should have got the small ones. Oh well, I'm learning. So right, let's get into it. So starting with Noir de Noir. I'm going to start with the real thing, just because I think that makes sense to go with the original and then see how the dupe compares. So I have a little sample of Noir de Noir. There's a lot of Tom Ford private blend fragrances, and I don't know on the spectrum of things how popular this one is. I don't know why I picked it, but I did. So we're gonna sniff it. This one is slightly yellow. The dupe is not. It's more like really light yellow. This one's deeper. This is a very very sexy and smoky. This is a very rich, sexy kind of amber scent. That is strong. Not something I would normally go for. Noir de Noir. It is dark. I think the name of it is perfect. A date night fragrance for sure. Tom Ford actually sells 10 milliliter travel sprays. I have one of them, and Noir de Noir is one of them as well. This rich oriental scent reveals Tom Ford's feminine side. Rich feminine florals, masculine earthiness of black truffle, vanilla, patchouli, oud wood, and tree moss. Dark chypre oriental. Interesting. I don't know. I don't really know the fragrance families, but I wouldn't consider this oriental, but what do I know? It just smells dark and moody and sexy. Definitely like a nighttime date night fragrance. It's good, not my favorite. I definitely sense some oud and a little bit of like deep muskiness and vanilla. I don't consider it florally, but I suppose there's some flowers in there. It's a really rich fragrance. Let's get into the Perfume Parlour version, which is Black Extreme 645 on the other wrist. Oh boy, can you tell I'm a noob? Look how wet that is. I don't mind spraying a lot because I have so much of all of these. I mean, the notes, I think the most basic notes are similar. I'd say the Tom Ford is more musky and richer. Almost like a cocktail. Like a bourbon, boozy. I'm not getting that vibe as much with Black Extreme. Black Extreme isn't bad. Again, I just don't think Noir de Noir or the dupe is really for me, but is it similar enough? I don't think it's that similar, to be honest. I think some notes are similar, but side by side, not the same fragrance. And which one is better? Black Extreme is lighter. Tom Ford is richer. I think I'll probably be saying that a lot, but it's not a surprise. I hope this doesn't offend anyone. I think you really need to try the samples of the real thing to know, like, when you get a dupe, oh, this is a good dupe. I mean, you can totally buy the dupes without knowing if they're similar or not. You could love them. That's fine. Let's just look at the color comparisons. A little bit richer of a yellow, lighter yellow. Okay, on to one of my favorite scents. At least I thought it would be a favorite. It sounded really good, and I'm talking about Plum Japonais. And I was sad because it got discontinued last year and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was planning to get it at some point, and then it, got discontinued. So I need to find, a good dupe. And so I have two dupes for this one. I have Fruit Nippon 1957 from Perfume Parlour, and I have Alexandria Fragrances Forbidden Plum. So this is the one I have two dupes for. And I just got the real thing, and I hope this is the real thing. But from when I smelled it the first time, it seemed a little bit disappointing to me, which I'm really sad about, but... So this is the real sample here. It's really like spicy, like gourmandy, and like some sort of baked, not a baked good, because it doesn't smell like super sweet, but kind of like a spiced tea or something. I smell wood, like mahogany. I don't get that plummy, rich fruit vibe that I thought I would get. Yeah, it's kind of strange scent. It's good. Again, a little bit disappointed when I smell this because it's not like what I thought it was gonna be. Apparently you can get this on Amazon or eBay. not too surprising. Top notes are cinnamon and saffron. Middle notes are Japanese plum, plum blossom, immortelle, camellia, liquor, and cypress. Base notes are oud, amber, benzoin, fir, and vanilla. Okay, I definitely get a lot of spiciness. More than any plum. I don't think of this as fruity at all. That is so bizarre to me. I know. Ooh. I thought people loved this, but I guess, I mean, they discontinued it. It must not have been selling well. It is a little bit rich, but not too rich. Interesting. Just not plummy or fruity or any kind of like what I thought it would be. Anyways, going on to the dupes. Let's start with Fruit Nippon 1957. This one doesn't smell the same. I don't remember really loving this one when I smelled it. It does smell lighter and fruitier, almost like artificial fruit or like a candy. Not really smelling plum. Interesting. This one, so this is a lot lighter, but not similar at all. I think it tries to be fruity, but no cinnamon or spiciness that really comes out with Tom Ford. Wow, that's crazy. This is a totally different video than I thought it was gonna be. None of these smell the same. Alright, Alexandria Fragrances Forbidden Plum. I actually like this one. Actually, this one smells spicy, just like Tom Ford. This one's definitely more similar. Not as complex. With Plum Japonais, I smell a lot of like wood. Like literal wood. I'm not smelling this with the Alexandria Forbidden Plum, but I think it really got those spicy notes right. And in that sense, this smells similar. I'm not really smelling fruitiness or the woods, but it's pretty close. This is probably the closest one that I've tried so far to the original. So write that down. If you are missing Forbidden Plum, you're almost out, or you just want to try something that's close to what was discontinued like I did. But yeah, I think this is a good close one. You may even like this better. I think where Fruit Nippon misses the mark is it tries to be too fruity, and that's not really what the original was like. So interesting. I am learning a lot. I actually haven't like done this comparison side by side on my own. So like these are my genuine reactions to learning like, oh, these aren't the same or these are the same. So alright, on to Lost Cherry. I actually have a separate video on this because I have this pretty Lost Cherry Tom Ford travel size. And this is a Stray Fruit 1947 from Perfume Parlour. But we'll do a little comparison real quick. I'll do the Tom Ford first. You know, I really want to like this a lot, but it's like too much cherry almond Jergens lotion to me. Like I can't get that out of my head when I smell this. And I wish this was more complex. It's not a bad fragrance. People have commented this smells like cherry pie or cherry desserts. And they really like it because of that. But it's like amaretto, I guess, like that cherry liqueur kind of taste. And I just wish there was something more to it than that. It's very cherry almond, artificial smelling to me. It's a nice cherry gourmand. I think a lot of people love it because it's so in your face. So I can't blame people for that. Okay, and then the dupe, I have a Stray Fruit. Not quite as bold and rich, but very similar. Yeah, Tom Ford is definitely bolder, but I don't know anything about making fragrance. But I have a feeling that this isn't hard to recreate because this smells pretty much the same. I mean, I think Tom Ford's longevity is better, and you know, kind of projection and boldness. But at the end of the day, the notes in here are very similar. Again, one of the ones that if you don't want to pay for Tom Ford, Astray Fruit is a good option. At the end of the day, I mean, this is a lot of perfume for not a lot of money. But if you're in the US and you're ordering from the UK, it may not be worth it to you. It might be worth it to get the travel size of the real thing if you like cherry that much. Because this is like 10 mils for $60, $65, which isn't, I mean, like economically, not a good deal, but it's not a bad price for a lot. You get a good amount of product in 10 mils. I enjoy it. The notes are pretty much the same though, so you can do either one. It's just cherry isn't, like, I bought this because I would have got the sample of this. Like, I don't use it that much. I would have preferred to have a small sample instead of buying the large size. I was gonna like buy all of these to compare, but now I don't have to. I'm so glad. Although I bought so many samples, I could have bought a couple big size perfumes by now. Okay, on to Oud Wood. So I had the original in my first video, but we're gonna do it again. Oud Wood. More of a masculine fragrance, but anybody can wear it. I know this one in particular women love to wear. That's nice. Just classy, sexy, and you could wear this every day in my opinion. It might be a little bit rich for some. I think it's one of his best. Okay, so I have Agar Gold SV, and this is 38. I think there's a couple of versions of Oud Wood for Perfume Parlour, so you might want to check out some other ones too. I smell some wood. Some of the notes are similar. I get a lot of wood in here. It's not quite the same, but I don't think it's a bad dupe. I think this one smells good on its own without comparing it to the original. But to compare, this one's pretty close in my opinion. Pretty close. I don't think it's a bad dupe. The original is always a little more complex, but this one I would wear. I need to wear this more. Sometimes I forget which ones I like. I need to put a star. Wear this one. You know, I'm more like, I don't know, whatever days that I don't want to be super like girly smelling and just want to smell a richness, maybe a wintertime scent. This is a good one. You know, people have asked me like, okay, since you've tried the perfumes out, has your opinion changed on any of them? I don't think so. I think my opinion when I smell these was the same as my first impressions. I think with Perfume Parlour, they don't last forever. These are perfume oils. So it's a little bit hard for me to tell, okay, how do they wear? Do they change scent during the day? Just because they don't last that long. So just keep that in mind. You have to reapply. Alright, the next one we have is Mandarino de Amalfi. I think this is supposed to be citrusy, summertime, fresh fragrance. I wish these came in a spray because I know you're not supposed to like rub or dab the scent. Okay. So I remember the scent of this. This is the dupe. This is Perfume Parlour Italian Fruit 1134. I remember what this smells like. The original does... This is distinct in my mind because it smells like soap, like literal soap. But the original also smells like soap. So they're not far off. This is the one I do not enjoy because it's way too soapy for me and not citrus enough. But if you like Mandarino de Amalfi, I think the Perfume Parlour one is really close. The soapiness is a little less prominent in the original, but it's there. It's sitting there. It reminds me of Irish Spring. You guys know that soap? It's green, dries your skin out. It says Irish Spring on it. It reminds me of that. So the fragrance notes are slightly different. It comes across slightly different, but at the end of the day, like the major notes are really similar. That's crazy. A lot of orange, a lot of citrus, a lot of soapiness. It's fresh. It's definitely like fresh, but not really my vibe. I'm glad I get to finally try these originals and know, like, even though I don't like it, is it the same? Right, Oud Minerale. So I sniff this and I really like the original, like just smelling it out of the bottle. Like, I think it smells so good. This reminds me of like an Aqua de Jo kind of vibe. Like really masculine and not really masculine, it's unisex, but masculine and aquatic and fresh and just, you know, like you would want your significant other to wear this. Oh yeah, I really like Oud Mineral, like a lot. There's just something about it that really my nose likes. This is one of my favorites so far. I think I like this more than Plum Japonais, which I thought I would really like. And I'm glad I didn't buy a bigger sample of, because I was like, oh, I should just buy the whole thing. I'm gonna love it. Well, I'm glad I didn't, because I don't love it that much. And I think this is a close enough dupe that I don't need to keep buying the real thing or trying to find the real thing. I just want to keep smelling my wrist, which is always a good sign. Alright, let's go with the dupe. This is Wood Substance Perfume Parlor 1810. These are not far off, but I think I like the original better. There's something about it, that some note in there I can't put my foot on that is standing out to me and the other doesn't have. It's like a little bit of some sweet, I feel like. This has a lot of those similar notes, or it's kind of oceany and oud at the same time. It's not a bad dupe. I think it has a lot of the good base notes is the same, but there's something sweet in Oud Mineral. I don't even know if he sells Oud Mineral anymore. I have a feeling it's not sold. So this has sea salt, sea notes, seaweed, agar wood, which is oud, styrax, ambergris, pink pepper, balsam fir, pepperwood. Maybe it's ambergris? There's something in there, a pink pepper. Maybe it's the pink pepper that I really like. So yeah, the dupe isn't super, it's somewhat similar, but there's some notes missing that I like. But you definitely get that fresh, woody vibe that I think makes this fragrance unique. Well, if you want a fresh oud, that is an option. All right, let's move on to our last comparison. We have the Tom Ford Effing Fabulous. A lot of people hate the name. I think it's whatever. Effing Fabulous. Some people really love this one. And like, I don't know, we'll see. I know this one's somewhat popular. At least it used to be. I cannot put my note on what's in this. This is a different one. This smells good. It says it's a leather scent, spicy, warm, and decadent. Gourmand almond, iris heart, floral orris accord. It's a sexy fragrance. Okay, so, okay. It's warm and spicy. It's a warm and sweet gourmand. Keynotes are leather, tonka bean, and sage. Interesting. This does smell good. Would I buy the full bottle? No, I don't think so. I think I don't love it that much, but it is an interesting scent. Kind of addicting smelling. Like I'd keep wanting to try it because it's unusual. Okay, so I have Perfume Parlor Extraordinary 1822. Interesting that it has like the almond and vanilla or tonka bean. It's not super far off, but yeah, I mean, I think always, as you guys would predict, the original is usually better, at least with this lot. But I don't mind this. Like, I would wear this because it, even though it's not exactly the same, there's some notes in there that are really similar. Yeah, it's not quite there. I don't know if I get like the sweetness as much. At the end of the day, probably most people would think you smell really similar to the original. But if you really love Effing Fabulous, I don't think anything is gonna compete, because it's not the same. On its own, I think Extraordinary 1822 is really nice. So those are it for the comparisons. I have the originals in some of the newer fragrances from Tom Ford that have come out in the last couple years. I'll start with the newest one, which is Tuberose Nue. And I got a little bit larger sample because I like Tuberose a lot. And I was excited he came out with this fragrance. So this is a 2021 release. Man, I wish this was a spray bottle. This one I like a lot. It's such a, like, some people, so I saw a couple of videos or read something that this is kind of too much, like sickening, but this is like the best part of this flower. I mean, it's like, so good. There's like certain flowers that are really have like a nectar that are supposed to like really attract, you know, bees and stuff. This is that like peak of that sweetness of the flower scent. I don't know if other people like it, but I like it. It's a little strong. It is a white floral. Let's look at the notes. Tuberose Nue conjures the fresh petals of night blooming tuberose and jasmine. Maybe it's that jasmine that's kind of like really rich. As they sway in the moonlight, exuding extravagant sensuality, rising to the rhapsody of unparalleled pleasure, spiced Agar wood and Timut pepper add an illicit potency to this mystical dance. Soft sensual blanket of musk captures the erotic afterglow, promising the mood and the longing. What are the notes? Top notes are jasmine, Sichuan pepper, and lily. Middle notes are tuberose, styrax, benzoin, and cacao. Base notes are musk, suede, tonka bean, and agar wood. Oud. I think I smell a lot of jasmine, a lot of tuberose, some lily, a lot of white florals. Very floral fragrance. You have to like that stuff. You have to like tuberose to like this. I really like it though. So good. I think it's a different kind of tuberose. I've had a couple different ones and this one stands out. Okay, on to the next new one, which is Rose Prick, which I believe came out in 2020. Yeah, came out in 2020. This one is a Chypre floral fragrance for women and men. Top notes are Sichuan pepper, again, turmeric. Middle notes are May rose, Bulgarian rose, and Turkish rose. Base notes are patchouli and tonka bean. I don't love this one as much. I think it definitely has a lot of rose, but there's some other stuff going on that is pretty strong as well. Interesting. I think if you like rose, you'll find this one to be a bit different and you'll like it. It's not really my cup of tea though. Yeah, something about it that I can't put my nose on that I'm not really a fan of. It's not a bad fragrance, it's just not something I particularly lean towards. I like the pink bottle though, for sure. Tuberose Nue is definitely more up my alley. I can tell that I like it right away. Okay, last one I have for y'all is Bitter Peach. This one also came out in 2020 at the end towards the end of the year, and this is in Oriental Vanilla for women and men. It has top notes are peach, blood orange, cardamom, and heliotrope. Middle notes are rum, cognac, davina, and jasmine. Base notes are Indonesian patchouli leaf, sandalwood, vanilla, tonka bean, cashmere, benzoin. That's a lot of stuff. Vetiver. Okay, it was officially released in early October 2020. I smelled this the other day and I enjoyed it, but I don't know that I would buy it, like the full one. Even I had my boyfriend smell it and he liked it. He thought it was, you know, very sweet. It's a little too sweet for me. Like, I like peach, but yeah, I mean, this is kind of sickening. It reminds me of those trolley peach O's, the candy, the peach gummy candy. Kind of like that. Definitely more sophisticated. You heard all the notes in it. There's a lot going on, but I mean, if I had a bottle of it, I would probably wear it. But in terms of like buying the full-size Tom Ford, which are very expensive, this wouldn't be my favorite top choice if I were to choose one bottle. I enjoy it. It's a lot of sweetness though. It is a lot. I think bitter peach, I don't really get the bitter part. I mean, it does smell good. The sweetness does kind of die down. I don't know. I mean, it kind of grows on me a little bit as I keep smelling it. I like that it's very fruit forward and different than... I mean, I think it falls in line with like Lost Cherry and how cherry that one is. It makes sense that this is very peachy. It's just a little bit, a lot of sweetness. Okay, those are my thoughts. Okay, let's do a little recap of like things I would consider that are better dupes. So like which ones are good? Which ones would I really recommend you get? I would say Noir de Noir. Neither one is a... I would say no to both. No to the original, no to the dupe. If you like Noir, I don't think you'll like Black Extreme 645 from Perfume Parlour. Plum Japonais. I'm actually disappointed by the original. But if you like that one, the closest one out of the two I have is Alexandria Fragrances Forbidden Plum. I think this is a really good dupe for it. And I like the fragrance of the Alexandria one. It's very cinnamony and spicy and more than any kind of fruit or plum. It's not really a fruity fragrance. Lost Cherry. I think if you like cherry, this is a really good dupe for Lost Cherry, Astray Fruit, 1947 Perfume Parlour. The main notes are similar, like really, really close. I think you'll be happy with Astray Fruit. Agar Gold. This is the dupe for Oud Wood. I think Oud Wood, the original, is better. But I think it had some very similar qualities to it. It's not bad. The Mandarino de Amalfi, I don't like either one. I don't like the original or the dupe. I think both had the Irish Spring vibe, so they were close in that sense. But the original did smell better and less soapy than this one. I do not recommend. Italian Fruit 1134. Then Oud Minerale. This is the one I spilled so much. I really like the original. I didn't think I would, or I didn't know I would. I think Wood Substance 1810 is close, but there's something in here that the original I really like. This isn't a bad dupe, but there's something missing in it. So you could get it. I'm kind of on the fence if I should recommend this one or not, but there's nothing compares to Oud Minerale. Something I would consider purchasing maybe. Effing Fabulous and Extraordinary 1822. I like the original. Not something I would buy. It smells good though. I think there are some similar notes, and this fragrance smells nice on its own without comparing. Like, it's a nice one. So I would recommend it. As far as the three new ones from 2020 and 2021 that Tom Ford came out with, I really like Tuberose, so I would go with Tuberose Nue. If you like peach, I would definitely recommend bitter peach. It's not that bitter. It's just really sweet, but it's a nice fragrance. I think I actually like it, even though it's really sweet. I like it better than Rose Prick. There's something about Rose Prick that I don't know, I'm not like a fan of, or I'm just not excited about. Like, it's a lot of rose, but it wasn't like something that I really could tell I liked right away. So, interesting. Interesting and surprising findings with this journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Follow up with me if you've watched this many months later than it comes out, and you can, you know, let me know if I've bought, ask me if I've bought anything. I probably won't. I mean, I'm glad to get the original samples, but I'm not like, oh, I really need to buy any of these fragrances right now. I mean, it's also what really deters me is the price for the smallest amount of product that you get. The one I would probably really consider getting, Oud Wood I really like, but Oud Minerale I probably like even more. So if I were to get a new bottle, that would probably be one I would consider really highly. Also Tuberose Nue, but there's no small travel size in those. So we'll see. Yeah, let me know if you have any comments. If you like this video, click the thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.